Let's hit the field.
It is Friday, July 18th, and the Yankees got off to a bit of a tough start in the second half against the Atlanta Braves. Bullpen game to kick things off. Kind of a punt lineup, too. My recap and your reactions. Plus, we got Terrence Kim in studio to talk Yankees trades as the deadline approaches. Coming up next, this is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
You watch the game? I mean, didn't it suck? It sucked.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Joining me tonight, Mr. Terrence Kim. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome back post All-Star break.
Thank you. I love that opening clip. That was like, playoffs? Playoffs? You got to be kidding with that. Yeah.
It's a classic commercial, but unfortunately the game did suck for the Yankees fans. We dropped this one 7-3. I think the writing was kind of on the wall around, I'd say, 4 o'clock when we found out Ian Hamilton was starting. Bullpen game, first game out of the All-Star break. That was not what we were expecting. Now, look, I'm not a conspiracy guy. I think I've been clear about that. You know, I think Oswald acted alone. Yeah, I think we landed on the moon. I think it happened. But my buddy Ray Fonseca texted me an interesting little conspiracy that got my mind spinning. He suggested that the Yankees are faking this Cam Schlittler arm soreness thing so that teams won't ask about him in trades over the next couple of weeks because they're concerned about arm trouble, right? But for most teams, the scouting will end at, oh, he missed a start because his arm was hurting a week ago. He throws 100. Do we want to give this guy up? Should we go after a different prospect? I don't know, man. That seems like something the Yankees would do.
I don't know, dude. With today's game, every pitcher getting Tommy John surgery, I don't even think teams really care anymore. The guy's 6'6", throwing 100. If a team is going to trade for him because they're selling some veteran pieces and they want some young prospects back, that's because they're building for the future and they're building for the long term. So even if he was getting Tommy John surgery right now, they'll be like, all right, we'll just rehab him and we'll have him in a year. They wouldn't care.
Yeah. Well, that was an ugly, ugly game. Let's get to the recap real quick, and then we'll
Let's go. Let's get it going.
We'll go through and talk trades, ways we can maybe work on this roster. So, obviously, the Braves jumped out to a big lead early. Olsen got things started with the first run. He ripped one into the corner. In terms of deals that never happened, you know, the road less traveled, there was a moment in history in which the debate was being had. Would you trade Anthony Volpe for Matt Olson? And for the most part, Yankees fans were against it. That's why it didn't happen. Brian Cashman was against it. Imagine the world, how it would look today if that move had gone down. When Olson was with the A's, Yankees could have got him for Anthony Volpe.
I mean, obviously, Monday morning quarterback, looking back, that was the move to make. But I can give you the same energy with the Mets traded Pete Crow Armstrong for Javi Baez, and there was a package on the table for back in 2015. Luis Severino and Aaron Judge headed to Atlanta for Jason Hayward. That was a trade that was being discussed. So you never know what players are going to turn out to be. Prospects, I look at prospects as like lottery tickets. They're all kind of walking lottery tickets. Some of them have better odds than other ones, but you didn't know that Aaron Judge was going to become literally one of the greatest players, right-handed players that we had ever seen when he was in the minor leagues. You thought he'd probably be a pretty good player. Anthony Volpe so far has been a bust, period. That's it.
Yeah. So we had some pretty bad pitching from our bullpen squad today. Hamilton, 3 runs in 1 inning. Garcia, who the Yankees just picked up, Rico Garcia, picked him up off of waivers for the Mets. We found out why he was on waivers. We saw both why the Yankees picked him up and why he was on waivers to begin with, because we saw a good fastball, 97, 98 miles an hour, seemed to have some good life, but he also threw 8 consecutive balls and then also gave up a 3-run home run. So, hey, what are you going to do? Didn't really see much from him. I want to talk about this throw by Acuna and the lack of a slide here by Vivas. So there's a few things on this that I want to talk about. So one, amazing throw by Acuna. I just want to put that out there. Fantastic, phenomenal throw. Yes, Vivas should have slid, but his job is not to be looking at the baseball. Okay, well, one, he didn't run that hard. And two, his job is not to be watching the baseball. His job is to be watching his third base coach. And you know what his third base coach is doing? He's pointing at third base. He's not saying slide. He's not telling him to get down. He's just standing there pointing at third base. What?
Yeah, I thought I had seen a video, or it looked like Rojas was giving him like the throws coming, like the slide, like slide. But to your point, Derek, it's just like a bad look. Like you gotta be. I think it's a scouting report thing where when you're going into the game, you know if a fly ball's hit to right field, Acuna's got a cannon out there, and that was an unbelievable throw. I don't think.
Let's watch it.
I
Let's
think
watch
there's
it.
like
Let's
four
watch
guys. Go ahead.
All right. Let's watch the third base coach.
Yeah. He's just like pointing.
I want to see if there's a replay of this. Yeah. So okay. So we'll share it right here. Watch this. There's no sign of the third base coach right there. Now, if we go back to the early on, let's see. He's just pointing. I don't see him telling him to. Oh yeah, maybe he's saying. No, it looked to me like he's just pointing. He's not obviously saying slide right there. I think that's partially on Vivas, but partially on Rojas. I don't think Rojas did a good job coaching there at third base as a third base coach.
Yeah, you could definitely make that argument, but I also want to say like it's on Vivas to know scouting wise like who's in right field, what kind of arm he has. But I also want to say like there's probably like 4 guys on the planet that can make that throw.
The chat's saying that he was giving him the slide call. I can't see it in this angle, but if there's another angle that shows it, I'll try and find it. But either way, okay, so here's a field view. No, that's of the triple. Now, I'll take the audience's word. I guess he was saying to get down. So obviously, Vivas didn't pick that up. So either way, it's bad base running. And it's just another example of shit base running from the Yankees.
Yeah. Bad fundamentals, which has been a problem with this Yankee team in the last few years. And I think it just kind of goes to show, or you can put blame on whatever the minor league development is down there where, they're talking about launch angle, talking about spin rate and, how hard you're throwing and stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with being really good at the fundamentals. And I kind of look at the playoffs last year. It's obviously a very different team with Juan Soto and Rizzo and Verdugo and whatever. And their run to the World Series where they didn't play. They played 2 AL Central teams, which they dominated against. And guess what, everybody? Houston's back. Houston is back, dude. And I'm telling you, it just feels like they're going to be in the ALCS yet again. And that place is a house of horrors. And honestly, Derek, if they didn't choke it last year, and who did they lose to? Did they lose to Cleveland last year? Maybe they lost to Kansas City.
I feel like they lost to the Tigers, right? I think they got swept by the Tigers.
They lost and Detroit's great, by the way. So there's them too.
Detroit's my pick in the AL right now. I mean, they look unbelievable. But they lost 4 in a row going into the break. But still, they got great pitching. Glaber's having a great year. I don't know, man. Anyway. Yankees dropped this one. What do you say we talk a little trade deadline here, TK?
Yeah, let's do it.
Honestly, I didn't see Rojas giving him the slide signal at that point. But if that's the case, if the chat is right, then that is my B. But in the angles that I saw, it's possible I didn't look at the right angle. Either way, that's just an ugly night for the Yanks. So according to Jeff Passan, there are several names that we might see moved here at the deadline. Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. For the people who are listening, I'll just read off the names on the screen. Eugenio Suarez, Seth Lugo, Nolan Arenado, who the Yankees already passed on once, Ryan Helsley, Emmanuel Clase, Ryan McMahon, K. Brian Hayes, Taj Bradley, who you had suggested a while back, and then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. You also had a couple of more that you wanted to mention that I didn't see mentioned by Passan, but you had some ideas.
Yeah, just I've heard that Washington may move on from C.J. Abrams, who was a major piece coming back in the Soto deal with San Diego. It seems like they're going to build around James Wood. So that's a guy who's a shortstop who I guess if you're looking to get out of the Volpe business, that would be the move to make. I guess he could also play third. But the name I'm more interested in is probably Yohan Moncada as far as like if they miss on Suarez, because a lot of teams are going to be in on Eugenio Suarez. He is the best third base option that will be available at the deadline. He's on an expiring contract. He's got good power numbers. I think the Cubs will be very interested as well, and they're obviously in it to win it right now. So it's not necessarily that the Yankees are going to be able to grab him. So Yohan Moncada as like a plan B wouldn't be a bad name to look at either with Anaheim.
Yeah. Well, of the names that are here on this list, is there anybody that you would prioritize? I mean, I think Emmanuel Clase, somebody you've talked about in the past, he would be at the very top of my list if they were willing to move him. I mean, Seth Lugo is somebody that you could probably get for a decent price. He's a good pitcher. He's just like a crafty guy.
Yeah.
I'm not big on K. Brian Hayes, even though he's got a good glove. I don't feel like that's a huge upgrade,
He's got like one of the worst slugs in the league. Like, I don't want Brian Hayes. I don't even really want IKF that much. The names I'm looking at, obviously Eugenio Suarez would be like the prime candidate there. And also Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen are interesting names just because they're on the same team. So it's like you can have them in the same deal and kind of kill two birds with one stone. So Eugenio Suarez and either Kelly or Gallen, not necessarily both of them, but one of them. And Emmanuel Clase would be, I'll say this, if they got one of Kelly or Gallen and Suarez, and Clase, that would be a huge home run deadline for me.
Yeah, they've got to play better leading up to the deadline, though. I mean, this is not going to be a layup series against the Braves.
Atlanta.
We just saw them get stomped.
Yeah.
We got Stroman going in Game 3. And then we got 3 games in Toronto against a very good and very hot Toronto team. If the Yankees go, 1-5 in this series, you have to seriously consider selling. You really do, because you could be 6 games back or something by then. I mean, I still think that they're a playoff team, but is that enough? I mean, do we care about even being a wild card team? I mean, I would love to get one starting pitcher. I don't think you need to go top of the list. I think, you're getting Heel back. Fried and Rodon and Heel is a solid 1-2-3 in the postseason. I'll take them in a wild card series. I'll take them against, pretty much anybody and still have a chance in the American League. And then I think you could get like a number 4 starter like Lugo maybe, or, maybe even somebody that's not even on this list. That's just kind of like, maybe even you go out and take a chance on like a quadruple A starter that you can, you're somebody who's just kind of floating around that you can fix, right? And Cam Schlittler, I think, is going to do a nice job. So I want a bullpen arm for sure. I think Clase is the guy you go out and get. And for third base, sure, I like Suarez. He's got power, but he doesn't help you much defensively. It's an imperfect fit, but it's another power bat, and he might hit you a big home run in the playoffs. So I feel like there's definitely a few guys who can help, but there's no perfect solution because there's so many different areas of need on this team right now.
Yeah. When you think about it, a third baseman, a starter, and 2 relievers, like at least 2 relievers, that's like a lot to get at the trade deadline. And you're going to have to give up like major assets in the minor leagues in order to accomplish that. Now, Suarez, Kelly, like all the Diamondback guys, I think they're all on expiring contracts right now. So I think that decreases their value a little bit just because of the control factor. Which I also think makes them interesting candidates as well, because it's like just for this season, and then you can kind of address some things in the offseason, right? But Emmanuel Clase to me is like the no-brainer. If he's available, you have to get him, just because his contract is so team-friendly. There's years of control. He's at a down year, so his value isn't peak right now. He's shown that he's been awesome. Guy throws 100-mile-an-hour cutters, and the only team that's really bruised him up is the Yankees. So if you're on the Yankees, then I guess you're fine. But yeah, that would be my kind of plan. And if they got Suarez, Derek, I wouldn't imagine they would re-sign him unless he like absolutely tore it up. But I wouldn't imagine them re-signing him. And then, like we've said before, Ben Rice, I think, would be your third baseman next season. You just say you're learning third base in the winter. You're learning third base in the winter.
Well, then who plays first? I mean, Belly?
Cody Bellinger.
Move Belly, but he hasn't played first at all this year, really. I mean,
yeah, but I don't worry about him defensively anywhere. Honestly, I would just stick him at first.
Yeah.
Or do you start the transition of Judge at first? Is that something you look into?
I mean, it's something you consider, but he's still elite defensively in right field. I mean, didn't Belly play first base tonight? Yeah, he hasn't played a lot of first base this year. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
look
did.
see if I can find how many times he's played first base this year. Let's see. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Oh no,
He did
this
first.
was the fifth game he's played at first base this year. So they're not using him there a lot. He's so valuable defensively. I love him in the outfield. I'd have no problem with him being the center fielder again next year. Leave Dominguez in left, play Judge and right.
Yeah.
I don't think they're necessarily going to go all in for Tucker. I don't see him paying $600 million. I think they'll develop Ben Rice as a first baseman. I think they're going to try and figure out a way to improve the left side of the infield. It wouldn't necessarily surprise me if they move Jazz again back to third base next year. They move Volpe to second, and then they go with a stopgap shortstop until Lombard gets ready because Volpe's been struggling so bad. There's not a lot of great pieces. I mean, Bichette's going to be a free agent. Would they pay for him? I don't think so. Just going to
That doesn't
be,
move.
yeah. It's going to be it's going to be another shitty offseason for the Yankees, I think. But we'll see how the trade deadline works out. Quick word from DraftKings. Back in 60 seconds. We got a few voicemails here.
That ball is high.
Hang on. There we go.
Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets on the game. All with DraftKings Sportsbook. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for a gambling problem. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right, so we got a comment here, TK. This is from Brian Bashman. He says, Spencer Jones didn't play tonight. Anytime that a prospect sits or comes out of a game this time of year, it's always like, oh my God, he's getting traded. It's never he had explosive diarrhea, but who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in many trade rumors. I don't know what the interest is in Spencer Jones. How are you feeling about it? Because it seems like we mention this every week that he's been just absolutely killing the ball. Right now, are you leaning towards trade him or are you leaning towards hang on to him?
He might have played himself into the plans, the future, I guess.
Hmm.
Or you could argue that sell on a high and that right now
Yeah.
he's at peak value. You could make both arguments, but he's obviously very athletic. He great power as we've seen, and oddly enough, he's torn AAA up since he's gotten called up there. Usually guys struggle out of the gate. Like there's a transition period there, not Spencer Jones. And I don't want to hear it I've seen so many like Aaron Judge and Spencer Jones have identical minor league stats. That to me is like, okay, that's a cool little thing. Like maybe he's Aaron Judge. Stop. All right. Just Aaron Judge is currently a one of a kind. You know how hard it is to be Aaron Judge, to be that good? Honestly, I think Spencer Jones is probably closer to like prime Joey Gallo in Texas, where he hits a lot of home runs, but he hits 220 with like 200 strikeouts a season, which I guess works in today's game if he plays really good defense.
Apparently, a lot of prospects got pulled. Rock Riggio didn't play. Roderick Arias got pulled. So you never know. I mean, there could be a move, but there also might not be. I believe on this day in Yankees history was when they made the Frazier, Tommy Kahnle, David Robertson deal. I'll tell you what, I would love to have David Robertson back. I heard that the Yankees were watching him watching him throw or whatever. That would be great. Hey, you want to get to a couple of voicemails real quick before we sign off?
Let's do it.
Hey, Derek, John from Hawaii. What are they teaching these kids in the minor leagues? I mean, it seems like every game there's a crazy base running error. Huge base running mistake. Almost every game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty bad how our base running is just continually awful. I still think Rojas should have been right there on the bag. Like, if he was given the down signal, I couldn't see it. You got to get the guy's attention. You got to make it clear that he's got to slide there. But also, it did not look like Vivas was running all that hard. And that's just not acceptable with Judge, due up. One more here. Let's play. Here's Hamilton.
Hi, Derek. John from California here. I'm calling you during the first inning of tonight's game. I think this was a test whether Hamilton should be DFA'd. He failed it. He needs to go. Bye.
Thoughts on that?
DFA'd. I mean, he certainly hasn't really pitched well. He's not been really what he's been in the past this season. I think he's kind of taken a step back, and I don't think that. I mean, what does his contract look like even right now? But yeah, DFA'd, I don't think he's going to get DFA'd because they need arms. They just need arms right now. They need like warm bodies in the bullpen at this point. But he certainly kind of hasn't played to the point where you're going to consider him in a quote unquote high leverage situation like you would have in the past. They don't really have any good arms at the moment, man. I mean, Weaver, since he pulled his hamstring, he hadn't really been the same. I mean, we'll see. Devin Williams kind of pulled his act together a little bit where he's been pretty good. He's not been as bad as he was in the beginning of the season. And I mean, Tim Hill has been good, but the guy's throwing like 90 miles an hour. Mark Leiter Jr. is like he's hurt right now. He's like the unluckiest pitcher on the staff. And Brubaker was good tonight. That's it.
Maybe Lasagna will get things once he gets the movement back on his pitches. Maybe he can get back to being elite. I feel like he's a guy who just doesn't have the feel for it right now, but the stuff is still there. Like 98. Matt says tired of hearing Ben Rice is unlucky. He's bad right now. I mean, the guy just had 2 doubles tonight. I mean, what more do you want from him? Watch the games. Come on.
Yeah, he hits the ball hard every time up. That's all I know.
Bashman wants to bring back Adam Ottavino. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be an arm out there somewhere that can help the Yankees out. But this has just been, and this bullpen. It was one of those things that I did the Yankees vibes before the game, kind of like a little pregame show. And on my pessimistic side, I was like, well, the bullpen. It's just like every night I'm waiting for a different guy to cough it up. Right, I'm just waiting for a different guy to blow it. And I feel like tonight there was multiple of those guys, but. TK, tough night. We'll see you again next Friday night. The Yankees will be taking on the Phillies at Yankee Stadium. Bryce Harper to the Bronx, where he should have been all along. I'll never forgive Brian Cashman for that one. Till the day I die. I'm going to be 85 years old on my deathbed, and I'm like, I can't believe we didn't get Bryce Harper.
That's the biggest whiff in Brian Cashman's tenure, I think, is not even calling Bryce Harper. Not even calling him, dude.
Yeah. So ridiculous. All right, guys. Whatever. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.